Hi everyone, welcome to the weekly market update, your latest news on Bitcoin, gold and silver this week, especially in the crypto space. It is red. We're seeing a lot of things down right now. In this video, I'm going to be basically explaining why you shouldn't be worried about it. And at the end of the day, this is what we call a market correction. When things go down like this, it's basically a discount for us investors and a chance to be able to buy. So I'm going to be explaining everything that's happened. So across the board, we've seen everything go down in terms of crypto space, especially in the last 7 days. Most of it's correlated to Bitcoin, which has basically had a massive sell-off. A big whale in the Bitcoin space, when we say a whale, it's someone who basically owns 2,000 Bitcoin or more, has had a massive sell-off of $2.7 billion and has triggered a $4,000 downturn in the Bitcoin price. This happens every once in a while in the Bitcoin space, and usually what happens is that when there's a massive downturn like this, the Bitcoin that's put back out onto the market in a massive sell like this is bought straight back in straight away, and we see that the price rebounds pretty quickly. I guess to show you what I mean, if you look at on a 1 week basis, you can see how badly it's had a downturn. It's down 5%. But if I look at it on a 3-month basis or a 1 year basis, you can see that there's a general pattern. And what happens is there are times where you'll see it's at 109,000 US and it'll go down by about 10K or so. Yep, so down 99. And usually there's what we call a rebound effect, and it will just bounce back up quickly as a discounted price will create increased demand. And that's what's going to happen this time around. Think about it like going to your favorite shop and things are on discount. Now there's an opportunity to be able to buy top tier assets like Bitcoin at a discounted price. So am I worried about what's happening in this downturn? Absolutely not. And actually, to give you my opinion on what I'm doing, I'm buying Bitcoin today. The fact that it's down means I've got an opportunity to buy at a better price. So down currently to around 109,608. And what this means is that we're at a lower price compared to before. If we look at it basically on a 1 month level, we can see that what was happening was there was a big battle for Bitcoin to try and break that 120K mark. And it wasn't able to in this run. And what happens now is that it's had a downturn. But I think all the fundamentals behind Bitcoin are still very solid. The fact is that Jerome Powell is still under massive pressure to be able to cut Fed rates. And I believe as long as Donald Trump's in charge and he continues to push for Jerome to be able to cut these rates, we're probably going to have a multi-year Bitcoin bull run where it's just going to continue to go up. I see a pathway to 200,000 probably in the next 12 months, probably a year to a year and a half, where it's easily going to be able to hit 200,000 US dollars. And in terms of other opportunities I see a next kind of bull run in terms of an alternate coin being Solana. And we're seeing massive big boys putting money into the sector of Galaxy Digital, potentially creating a $1 billion ETF backing of the token. And when you've got such a big demand increase so suddenly, what it does is it creates a supply squeeze where suddenly there isn't as much supply in Solana. The news is general, like rising developer interest. There's a wave of corporate entities adding Solana to their treasuries, and I believe that in general there's a lot of interest in this space right now. So Solana itself is a layer 1 token, so it acts the same way as Bitcoin in that it's decentralized, but what it does, it operates a lot quicker and does transactions in a very quick way. So you're able to use it for transferring value a lot easier. And I believe that it's going to be integrated into a few systems going forward. And people are seeing opportunity in this and going towards it. Looking at Solana, it's definitely down compared to its overall price increase. Its peak was just around that $220 area if we look at it on a max level. But I believe currently Solana is at a really good price. And in terms of alternate coins, I think this one has a really good chance of having a bull run. Do your own research and make sure you look into it, understand what Solana is and how it operates. But I have a feeling that it's going to go on a massive bull run, and I'm going to start having a look into it. The other alternate coin I'm considering having a look at is Sonic. Now, Sonic has definitely been a mixed bag. They did a pretty poor job with their airdrop program where they were giving essentially a bunch of tokens out to their investors. And what happened was all the retail investors that bought the token didn't really get as much as they expected and really just went to a lot of insiders. However, Sonic is a really good top-end token with a lot of good back-end fundamentals. The creator of it right now, or the chief technical officer, Andre Gronch, is behind it all, and he's been putting a lot of time and effort into it. The back end is incredibly quick, and we're talking millisecond finality on some transactions. However, it just hasn't had the hype so far due to a few mistakes on their end. However, if they can get into the American market and they can be able to push an ETF into the treasury companies as well as get into the NASDAQ, I do believe there's an opportunity in this asset. Its back end really works well, and I believe it's at a very cheap price. So if I look at Sonic on a 1 year level, it's down nearly 70%, and I believe that this was due to a lot of mistakes on their end, as well as some people in ownership basically dumping the coin. And what that's led to is you've got a really good system in the back end that works well, and ultimately the coin's undervalued. And I do see the case where heading into late this year and as well as next year, this can go on a bull run. And as the crypto market kind of goes into a green period again, another bull run, I do believe Sonic has a way of being an absolute maniac and running. So this is one I'm keeping an eye out and doing constant research on, making sure to see, are they making the correct moves internally, and are they trying to get themselves into the NASDAQ and in the US market correctly? Because any kind of mistake that they do there can make it really go backwards and can actually send it down further. So this investment as a whole is a lot more of a bet compared to something like Solana, which has a lot more confirmed investment. All right, breather from the altcoin market, from Bitcoin, from all that. This is where I really like a portfolio that has a mix of hard metals as well as your crypto, because at the end of the day, while the markets have been blood red, your metals have been doing really well. Silver continuing to stay pretty flat line as of late. In the last 30 days, if I was to look at the graph, it has barely moved, and it's trying to basically get to that $40 range you can see there. But it's a top tier investment, and at the end of the day, we are still running out of metal. I've done a previous video on this. I'll put a link on the top of the screen for you guys to look at. And ultimately, it's got both the safe haven element, so when things get uncertain, it holds its value, goes against inflation, meaning a rate cut, it would go up, but it's got also huge industrial demand. And I do believe that this is something that can go up really quickly, as we saw with platinum in the past. And it seems like the mining industry has had a lot of movement in Bitcoin. They're calling this period right now for silver producers a perfect storm. We're seeing that there's a lot of demand in the space, basically from both the dual aspect of it, because you're seeing that silver has that industrial aspect where, you can use it in renewable energy, you need it in solar panels, you need it in electric vehicle batteries, you need it in all that stuff. So its industrial demand is through the roof. But also, in terms of an outright retail investment, there's a lot of people that are interested in it right now. And the retail investment element is what I'm really curious in, because right now, it's still low, but a massive increase in that area would make the price go up really quickly. And we're seeing silver continue to go up around 30% per year, and it's continuing to go at that rate. And that's what we're going to expect from it. It's going to go at 30%, but in a massive bull run period, which we've seen in the past around that 2012, 2013 period, it absolutely can run really quickly. And that's why I'm keeping an eye on silver, and I've still got a massive eye on it. While gold, probably the most safest of the lot, it continues to do its job, go against inflation. It's the ultimate safe haven asset. And if you just want some safety in your portfolio, this is what a lot of reserve banks are doing right now. They're stacking gold at rapid rates to be able to have some security in these times right now. We know the dollar is getting devalued at a massive rate as they continue to print. And this is an asset which is just so handy to have in terms of peace of mind. When anything goes wrong, when a market crashes, when crypto goes backwards or something goes wrong, this just does its job, and it will continue to go up by about 20 to 30% per year, no matter what. As inflation kicks in, it just doesn't matter. It really just tracks along as it needs to. And I mean, if you look at a graph, like, it will sometimes go volatile like that. But if you look at it on a 1 year, 5 year, and 10 year period, ultimately it's just going to chug along and do its job. Continue to make 20 to 30% per year. And for me, that's fantastic. It continues to go above inflation and do its job. So I've been screaming about this on my channel a lot, and I'm saying that if you want to invest 60% into metals. I'll put mostly silver and a bit of gold, and 40% if you want to get a bit spicy, get in the crypto space, get some Bitcoin, and go decentralized. At the end of the day, we know what's happening to the US dollar. We know they're printing at a massive rate, and we know there are massive problems fundamentally. As long as Trump's in charge for now, this is what's going to continue to happen. I believe, honestly, it doesn't matter which president there is, it's not his fault. The issue is the damage is truly done in America. The dollar is going to go into some form of collapse, and you need to be in a decentralized position. That means investing in decentralized assets like Bitcoin, gold, and silver. So that's what I'm pushing for on this channel. If you agree with this or you just want to learn more, please like and subscribe, because I'm going to continue to go over this more and more. But the main output from this is the following. So crypto is currently at a discount. It's probably a good opportunity to go in right now and buy some Bitcoin. I think that's probably the main action point right now, because I think it's going to rebound pretty quickly, and a pathway to 150 in the short term is there. Silver and gold are going to continue doing their thing, and it means that any short-term volatility from your crypto is going to be covered by your silver and gold, and that's why I believe you should have some of that as well. And overall, just continue to stack, continue to have conviction and belief in these three asset classes. And truly, I believe in this economy, you're going to do really well if you continue to go into these areas. I hope you enjoyed. Please like and subscribe if you want to learn more. More content coming. Hope you enjoyed.